Ye find yourself in yon dungeon, the temple of the Night Serpent. Infesting the decrepit lair are hordes of goblins, clattering skeletons, and the undead high priest. These monsters guard treasures most valuable, the emeralds of Nadar, the jade idol of the Night Serpent, and a +1 short sword. Well, I already bought a +1 short sword at the town magic shop, so we'll just grab the emeralds and the jade idol. Is there nothing more mundane than a world where magic items are so common you can just procure them at the local store? On today's show, we'll be talking about magic items and how to make them seem more amazing. First things first, these tips are for a low to mid magic setting. If you prefer a high magic world with magic corner stores and wizard schools on every street, by all means have at it. I'm not here to kick your sandcastle. With that disclaimer out of the way, here are my tips to put the magic back in magic item. Tip number 1. All magic items are unique. If you order a burger from 2 different restaurants, they won't make it the same way. One might use American cheese, the other uses cheddar, one uses ground chuck, the other uses a proprietary blend of beef. But both places have made a burger. Likewise, 2 alchemists might not have the same recipe. A consumable magic item like a scroll or a potion will have a fingerprint of sorts that reflects who made it. A druid's healing potion might be an herbal tea, whereas a wizard's might taste more like a Red Bull or a 5-hour energy. Permanent magic items like your arms, armors, and trinkets should be especially unique. When you plop a magic tchotchke into your world, try to answer these 5 questions. What is the name of the item? Who made the item? Why was this item made? Who owned the item last? What secondary effects does this item have? As an example magic item, let's take a humdrum Hat of Disguise. This item allows us to cast Disguise Self at will on ourselves. So instead of just calling it a Hat of Disguise, let's turn the item into a mask and call it the Mask of Many Faces. The Mask of Many Faces was created by a master illusionist long ago, and he made it so he could impersonate the apprentices of his rival wizards so he could steal their magic secrets. The last owner was the illusionist's very own apprentice, who murdered him in order to take his place. As for secondary effects, maybe the mask is cursed and the user loses their sense of self over time the more they use the item. We might not have answered these 5 questions particularly well, however now we have something to build off and make this mask seem like it exists in the world and not just haphazardly thrown in. Tip number 2. Include masterwork items. Without easy access to magic arms and armor, players may feel like there's no reason to buy new equipment. That suit of chainmail armor provides the same bonus as the old one they have, so who cares, right? I care, and I show it by incorporating a rule from 3rd edition, masterwork items. For a larger amount of money, players can purchase a superior made weapon or suit of armor from an expert smithy. The weapon has the same +1 bonus as a magic item, but it's not considered magical. You can also mix it up and have the bonus apply only to attack rolls or damage rolls. Likewise, with Masterwork armor, rather than a static +1 armor class bonus, you can have the armor grant a chance to avoid critical hits, or perhaps a custom-fitted suit of armor negates a speed penalty. Either way, Masterwork items allow for players or NPCs to be able to craft better than average items without having to be a spellcaster. Tip number 3. Have 0 to 1 magic stores. In most tabletop settings, stores are dealing with mainly commoners, and commoners don't have the money nor the need for a ring of haste or a potion of healing. So if you're going to have a magic shop, try to limit it to a capital city or maybe even a traveling merchant. A good anecdote for this, I was in a 3.5 campaign about 8 or 9 years ago, and occasionally on the road we would run into this magic item dealer named Chaltron MacGuffin. He was a jolly fat man who also sold sandwiches on the side. And when we first met him, we were broke, but it gave us something to look forward to and a reason to save our money. Which brings me to my final point. If you're going to include a magic item store, have it be a hook for an adventure. Perhaps the local alchemist knows how to make healing potions or speed potions, but they don't have the proper reagents. Or maybe the local armorer is selling a sword with dormant magic power, but the sword must be charged at a faraway shrine. So those are my tips, most of which have been shamelessly more or less ripped from Dungeon Crawl Classics, which is my new favorite RPG. That's all I have to say. Goodbye.